What's the latest since we last kind of spoke? I know you got the offer, but I don't know if you signed it. I don't know if you've moved or you're moving. Do you know what team you're joining? What's the latest?
Yeah, I signed the offer. I matched the first team, and the manager is happy with me, so I signed the offer.
Okay,
And I
good.
think I think the team is about data lake, data pre-processing, and the hiring manager said it is the biggest data lake in the world.
Wow. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And this is for SDE too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Congrats. So you're definitely going, you're not changing. All right. Even with this work from home, right? They've pretty much abolished it, I guess, from January or something. So you're cool with that. You're gonna be able to go in the office every day.
Yeah, the new policy starts from the next year.
So let's go to the beginning. Just how did you even get the interview in the first place for this SD2 role? Did you apply? Did a recruiter reach out? And was this Canada or was it the US?
At first, in the first place, the recruiter reached out to me on LinkedIn. So uh, I submit my resume, and then I got the online assessment. So the whole process started, and I think they offer me the position in Toronto. Yeah, and but I asked more time to prepare. So at the time I interviewed, the position is already filled.
Not surprised.
It's better than I didn't prepare and lost a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they let you, if I remember correctly, you skipped some round. Did you jump straight to the onsite? Did you skip the phone interview or did you skip the online assessment? I know you skipped something. What was it? And
yeah. I,
you know
I
what?
skipped the phone. I skipped the phone screen and jumped into a final round, virtual on site.
How come?
I I don't know why, but I think it's better to me because I skipped the phone screen, so um, I have more time to prepare for the final round and don't be rushed.
Okay. And this for this onsite you had, so you had how many interviews? Which interviews did you have?
Okay, there's four parts in the final round, and totally is 4 hour, 1 hour for each sections, and there's one system design and three coding, the coding part.
Okay. And was it all on the same day?
I separate into 2 days. One in the first day, three in the second day.
Yeah, that makes sense. If I were you, though, I'll probably try and do two and two, but make it splitting it over multiple days makes sense than having, back to back on the one day. So did you
Yeah,
know?
I
Go ahead.
yeah I would recommend two and two because uh in the second day, um my AirPods ran out ran out battery, so there's some technical issue in the second day.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good to split even from your brain running out of battery and your AirPods as well. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Did you know which round was the bar raiser? Because there's this bar raiser round where there's an interviewer who's maybe from like a different team and they can override the decision of everybody else. So if they say no, they can, basically eliminate you. So did you know which round was the bar raiser before you had it?
I I didn't feel there's a bar raiser. I don't think there's a bar raiser.
Oh, there's definitely that means they didn't tell you. Okay. There's definitely a
Yeah.
bar raiser.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a bar raiser because I've interviewed Amazon, right? But my bar raiser, I knew which round it was, but this was a while ago. Amazon Alexa. So
Okay.
yeah. So I knew that round that if because everything had gone well, and my bar raiser happened to be my last round. So I knew
Oh,
if I messed that up. That was it. But somehow I survived. Some people sometimes bar raiser could be the first round, second round, they don't know. But if you can get a way to know, that would help. I don't, some people know, some people don't know. So you didn't know. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that and I didn't feel that.
So one way to tell, because the thing is they're supposed to be sort of from a different team. So you can ask the interviewers, what team are you from? And maybe you can tell which round was the bar raiser or which one isn't. Especially if you know which team you're supposed to be interviewing with, maybe you ask um what the bar raiser is. But sometimes I know Amazon, it's not always team specific as well. Sometimes they say, look, you're just applying, and if you pass, then we find a team. So sometimes it can be confusing. But how
But
we
actually, there were two interviewers from different teams, so I don't know which one is Bad Racer.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you just had two interviewers for the 4 rounds.
Four interviewers, but two of them are from different teams.
Ah, okay. So maybe one of
Yeah,
them. Okay.
yeah.
So how did the interviews go? Like from your perspective, when you were in the interview and even after, how did you feel?
I think it went not bad. I didn't make huge mistake in the interview. So actually it's better than my expectations. But during the interview, that really asks a lot of behavior questions. And actually I prepared around 20 stories for that. But there's one or two questions I cannot uh, tell with them with the story I prepared.
The coding rounds, how did you find them? It wasn't like leak code hard, right? It was what were the questions like? I mean, don't tell me the questions, but just like how difficult was it? Was it, what was it like?
Yeah, the first question I got is yeah. Actually, before the interview, I practiced a lot in leak code, so I totally uh, I was I was totally asked 4 questions, and two of them I have already practiced on leak code. Yeah. And the first question I got is easy questions, and because it's too easy, so I cannot uh, act like uh, it's a hard question. So I have to I can uh, slow down my speed, but I can I when I see when I see the questions, I might solve it in 3 minutes. So the interviewers gave me another questions, and I think it's the hard one.
So just if I to see if I understood you correctly, you had the question that was so easy and you solved it and they gave you another one?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Maybe that was the plan. Maybe they plan to give you more. It's possible.
Yeah, but it's out of my expectation, so I kind of shocked at the time.
Yeah. Maybe that was like a warm-up question and then, they give you another one. That can happen.
Yeah, because for me it's too easy.
So you felt the rounds went really well, except for maybe the behavioral, which was tricky, but you were able to handle I guess, two cases. Yeah. What about
I
the
was
follow-ups?
pardon?
What about the follow-ups? So with the behavioral, they'll say something like, tell me a time when you've done XYZ, you tell your story. But didn't they like dig deep, ask follow-ups? What was that like?
Okay. Also, I think all of the question on are very tricky, and they 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 did ask some follow up after the story I told, but I think they just want to catch more detail about my story, and sometimes I lost some context uh, in the story. So I guess all of the follow up they want to um, get more detail. So they didn't ask a lot ask tricky questions, tricky follow up about my story. They just want to know more detail of my story.
Okay, that makes sense. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like they were trying to catch you out or anything. They just were clarifying, getting more detail. By the way, this is like a trick from the FBI. Like if you're when they're interrogating people, they just ask you to give more and more detail because the idea is if you're lying, when you keep giving detail, eventually you're gonna contradict yourself. So if your story is true, I guess it works out. So maybe that's the advice I'll give everybody listening. Like just keep your stories true because they do ask for detail. So how did you prepare? Like what was your preparation plan? So obviously I know you did some mock interviews with conditioning. And I remember when you
Yes.
came, at least in my opinion, I didn't think you were ready. I knew you had like potential because I could see like how fast you thought about things and the ideas you had and so on. But I knew you weren't like ready because first of all, you used to have brain freeze and you had this and I your dry running wasn't so like rigorous. So it was easy for you to like have mistakes and not catch them. Alex, I remember those two. So that's kind of
Yeah.
why, at least in my opinion, you weren't like ready. But I was just curious, like from getting to wherever you were to, where you got to an interview, what was their preparation like? How did you improve?
Yeah. I had a month for prepare this interview, and at first place, yeah, the first thing I prepared is recount, but I didn't have system a systematic way to prepare to practice recount. So actually, at the first of 2 weeks, I I didn't have a well plan to prepare the interview, and I was very uh, anxious, nervous. So I reached out to conditioning, and Nito tell me a lot of plan to prepare, and I think that the most uh, I think the space repetition it helped me a lot. It gave me a system way to practice Lico. So after the next 2 weeks, I have a way to practice Lico. And for behavior questions, I prepare one story for each behavior principle, for each leadership principle, and I I used a lot of ChatGPT to help me add more detail into my story and make the story sounds more concise and more uh, fluently because I'm not a native speaker. But it helped me a lot because, um, like you said before, I have brain freeze problem, so I need a huge amount of practice with uh, mock interview, so I can get used to the tension in interview. So actually, during the official uh, interview at Amazon, I didn't occur any situation like a brain freeze.
Okay. So the mocks helped you get used to the pressure. That's good. So, okay, so you're joining a data lake sort of team. I don't know if it's like an infrastructure team. You're going to be a software engineer, SD2. And how was your team matching? I think you said your first team you were able to match with. What was the process? What was the experience like for team matching?
Okay, so after the interview, I wait around a week, and the recruiter called me and said I passed the interview, so they will uh, start team matching. And I okay, so uh, after another week, I matched with the first team, and which is the team I signed the offer. And I think the manager was very excited to share what do let do in the team, and they share a lot of technical challenges in this team. So I feel maybe I can learn a lot in this team and show my skill in this team and grow with this team. So I finally signed offer.
Okay. So the manager just showed you like, details of what they do in the team, the challenges they face, but he didn't like ask you any, did he ask you any questions? Like any,
No,
okay, it
they
was just
didn't. The
conversation.
manager didn't ask me. I just introduced myself, and the manager started introduce their team, their technical stack, technical challenging.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I think at that point, once you pass the interview, then it's just more managers trying to sell the team, and hopefully, if they like you, you kind of match. So great.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a casual conversation.
Okay, so last question. If you go back in time, is there anything you would do differently? Slash, do you have any advice for people? Say any of those two questions, if you can, share, that'll be a good way to sign off.
Okay, so I think for the long term, I will predict the code more frequently. Because in a month I prepare the interview at Amazon. I practice around uh 400 the code in a month, so it felt it felt really bad.
You
So
did
I will
400 in a month. That is intense.
yeah
So I see you're
yeah.
saying
So I
you
will
would have started earlier. Okay.
yeah I was start prepare earlier. But if you have short time, I will recommend space repetition. Yeah, it was suggested by you,
Yeah,
and I
space
think it's a
repetition.
really I think it's a really good methodology to practice LeetCode, and it can reinforce your uh, DSA knowledge in a short time.
Yeah, so it helps you
Yeah,
keep things in memory so that you don't forget. We have a YouTube video on that, so we really preach about using space repetition. So okay,
yeah,
that's pretty good. So you wouldn't try and your advice is don't do 400 problems in a month. Try and space it out. Use space repetition. I guess in your case, you saw like two problems that you sort of practiced something similar. So that really helped you because you did quite a lot. All right.
yeah,
All right. Thanks so much. Congrats. Um,
yeah. Thank you.
Data lake, that sounds interesting. I know data is going to be very relevant going forward with AI being very data heavy. So I think you should be in a good space.
Yeah,
Yeah. Best of luck and keep in touch. Thanks so much.
sure. Thank you too.
Okay, bye.